So I'm thinking for our test, right? We do a Dragon Lord. I mean, I also really like Monk, but a low level Monk with no gear. Like if I had a lot of the gear I have on Sarlona, I could do. But so we'll do Dragon Lord. And then you know what? I want to do my Dragon Lord build. So we'll do my Dragon Lord build. Should I do a Charisma Dragon Lord? I'm gonna leave that. Then we're gonna do that. Okay. And then what do I need? UMD, 1 point tumble, and probably jump, right? For low level brand new character. I definitely want intimidate, right? What is the roar on? Level 1. Oh, you have a level 8 Dragon Lord Rogue Monk. Yeah, I'm probably really strong, right? Cannot crafted your own gear. That's great. So this is what I'm. What is the Dragon Roar? Is it an intim die? Does anybody know off the top of their head? Because I'm also gonna color spray, but I do want that Dragon Roar to hit. So I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll go forward from here. Because I want color spray, we get color spray at level 6 because we're charisma. We're gonna use, because we're hardcore. So we'll do this like I'm on hardcore, right? I have no gear. The server's brand new. And so in a lot of ways that's true, although I do have a lot of stuff that I grabbed in the dojo. And I did transfer my main over, so I do have a lot of junk just lingering from that, but I don't have any low level stuff. So we need magical training in order to get our weapon, because we're gonna use the little Fey sword. So we need that. Even though it's not a melee ability and we're on a fighter, we get a lot of feats, so we don't really need to worry about that. The next thing we're gonna do is focus on our class feat, and we want to get the one that gives us tactics. So that's the one right there, Thraxa or whatever. All right, so that should be fine. So this is probably exactly what I'm going to do on hardcore, by the way. Like this build that I'm doing right now is I'll probably put together, I think I already have it posted in the forum, but I'll probably put together something in the DDO builder. Did you guys notice that they redid the DDO builder? I like tried to make a build for somebody and he like redid, or they or she, I don't know exactly who runs that program, but they redid the way it functions kind of from the ground up. So it's kind of like using a new program, and my old builds aren't working. So I kind of have to spend some time with DDO Builder to figure out how to put together like what's going on. So this is going to be our hardcore Andy. Hardcore Andy. There he is. And yeah, we like that crazy. Like he was just at a karate class and now he's gonna run around in Dungeons and Dragons. And then I'm going to sort of try to make this look a little bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna default most of this stuff to 1 and just take the default. The eyes, I want the Clint Eastwood eyes. Where are the Clint Eastwood eyes? That's them right there. Those are the Clint Eastwood. The male has the Clint Eastwood eyes. Right? Doesn't that, those kind of look like Blondie's eyes from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly? Huh, what? Oh, I thought somebody had that name already. I'm like, what? How is that even possible? All right. So, you know what? We won't do hardcore Andy then. We'll do our Mist Buddy. Miss Buddy. There we go, Miss Buddy. Okay, no, I did one too many. 11. I think it's 11, right? And then I turn 10, 9, 8. And then 1. In case you guys are wondering, you probably do this, but if you don't do it, UI, you have to save one in order to do this. Layout, load, and then I think it's named Mary Mary 4 was the one that I made during the last, like, whatever event, so that would be the one save that I'd want to use. I mean, you can name it whatever you want, right? That's that particular one that I did last time. Yeah, and that's the UI how I like it. I need to try out like some new skins. I know people have a lot of cool skins out there. It's one thing I really haven't ever really messed around with DDO. Or Lotro. I haven't used a custom skin in Lotro. I know there's a lot of them too. And this is just for convenience. Like I like having the ability to just pop these at the top of the screen. Let's go in here and okay, killing blow looks good. Like I like having the killing blow be a different color so I can see it. Not that that matters, but and then this stuff, I want to move all of these buffs over to that side. Okay. I'm going to make the text bigger. And then for testing, we'll pick a new one. Yeah, since we're fighting against UNTs, those are like snakes, so we'll do the serpent. I made it 20. I'll make sure that my network display status is on. So that's right there. So then I can see that. And you can put this anywhere, by the way. Like, yeah, I have it there, but you could literally put that anywhere. I've seen people run with it like right there. I just usually park it right there. All this other stuff looks okay. I probably want to keep Trip and Sunder. Yeah, now that I think about it. Okay. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, you guys can see the server bloat that I have. Like, this is the stuff that I get in my backpack on every character that I make from all the different stuff that I bought over the years. Now they put them on vendor, so you can actually, you have to go and actually pick it up. But years ago, they would just throw it in your bag. So, like, this stuff is from when the game first launched. Some of you guys probably have this stuff, right? The boots, the founder's helm gives you a little bit more hit points. This stuff is all very quickly replaced. And here's the thing. This stuff is created whenever you reincarnate. So it's not like I have to keep these. You can destroy these. You know, it's not like I need to keep them. I could just drag this off and destroy it. Then when I reincarnated, I'd have 4 new ones, you know, so I can keep deleting these. But because I don't have anything, I'm actually probably going to use them, right? This is from Season 1 Hardcore. Now you have to go to the vendor and pick up all your stuff there, but they put the first one in your backpack. And then I forget where I got this cerulean stuff. You guys probably know, but I don't remember. I don't need to use this stuff, but I don't think I've ever unlocked this on this server, so it should work. Yeah, yeah. The stables are unique to the server that you're on, so like I don't have any of my pets from Charlona. I have a lot of pets on Charlona. I don't have any of them here. I think that's one of the things that they're trying to figure out to get people to migrate to these new 64-bit servers, right? They're trying to figure out how do we get the companion stable, how do we get the mount stable, how do we get the monster manual, how do we get guilds and guild renown, how do we get people's like Astral Shard accounts, how do we move that when they transfer servers. Right now, none of that stuff is transferred when people move, and it's like really important that they sort that out, because I don't think I would move if they were going to delete all my Astral shards. Like if I had to leave all my Astral shards on Sarlona with all my monster manual unlocks, all my pets. Like I have some really rare pets over on Sarlona. Not that that matters. Pets really don't do anything, but you know, I'd want to take all of it with me. Racial tome. I forget where this came from. I want to say it was like the Feywild. I forgot. These two envelopes are from the Shadowfell. This is from Ravenloft. I don't know. The Lesser Heart, I think everybody gets that, right, when you make a new character. The Universal is from Sharn. I'm almost positive. That's the Masterminds of Sharn right there. And then this medium ingredients bag, they used to give you... So there was an expansion that I bought that gave you a mount bag. Mount bags were deleted from the game. They no longer exist as a concept because when mounts were first introduced, they didn't have the stable that we have now, this thing here. So the mount used to be like a little figurine that you'd carry in your backpack, and they gave us a bag to carry all those figurines in when they came up with the idea for the stable, which I think was a W move. Like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. What they did is they retroactively changed those mount. They deleted them, and then they gave everyone who purchased that this medium bag. So that's why I have like a random green medium bag in my backpack. Which turns out to be super useful for hardcore. Like, so I've, you know, like, very happy to get that, because usually it's hard to get these green bags, big green bags early. You know, you can go to the store and buy, you can like trade in for the tiny one. You can go to the 12 and get the small one. But to get the medium one, I think you have to go to House J and buy it. And they're quite expensive if you have no economy at you know, set up at the time. The pins, like the fork, I'm just gonna delete it. Like I said, you can remake your character and get another copy of it. Same thing with these cloaks. Like, I'm just gonna delete those. All this stuff that comes in these, I'm just gonna click them off and delete them. Although I don't think I have this horse on the server, so I might as well unlock it. They're deleting the server, so all this is sort of wasted effort. Bottle of Mist, I will delete because I only need to have one. I have my Sharn Pass right now, so that's fine. This is from Menace of the Underdark, which is my favorite expansion. I got the version, I didn't realize this at the time, but I got the version that came with the Spider Cult mask. Which is right here, the Elite Spider Cult mask, which is great. Like, I love the Spider Cult mask, but that's the red one, right? The red and purple one. There is one that's silver that is like super rare, and I would love to have it, but you only got that from buying like one of the mid versions of the expansion, and like everybody... Not everybody, obviously, because people do run around with the silver versions of these, but it's super rare. So I've actually asked, like, during when they do those fund drives, and you can do stuff like the donation drives that Cordovan will do, and they'll give you DDO rewards as a return. I've asked about that silver mask, and because it was like a promotional item from Menace, they can't, I guess, for some reason, legally give it out. I think it's because it was part of a, you know, a bundle. They can't just no, I think they could probably randomly remake something that looks similar to it, but the actual item itself is super rare. The same thing with how many of you guys in chat have the figurine of the lioness? I do not have that. I have the Onyx Panther. But there was a summer, maybe what, like a decade or two, maybe 12 years ago, 8 years ago, I don't know, where if you logged in the middle of the summer, they just would give you the lioness figurine. So I have a friend who has one, and I'm like, where the hell did you get that? I thought I have everything. Yeah, see, Loya, you have both. Yeah, I mean, I missed it. I I didn't log in to get it, and now it's something that drives me crazy because I don't have it. I do have a pet rock. Does anybody else in chat have a pet rock? It's a pet. I got it. One random day, I logged into DDO. I think it was a Friday. And Cordovan came over to Sarlona, and he was flying around on his dev tune, raining these little pet rock pets down on anybody who was logged in at the time. So I grabbed one. He was just dropping them everywhere if you pick one up. So I ended up picking up a couple because I wanted to, my friends who were offline, I wanted to grab them for them. But it turns out that they like bound to my character as soon as I picked it up. So on Sarlona, I like have a few characters that have the rocks on them, but even though you cannot access. So if I ever move off of Sarlona onto another server, I can move one of those characters. They actually have the pet rock that I could click and use on the new server, but I'm hoping that they allow us to transfer our stable so I could get the one that I already used on Sarlona, you know? Not that it matters, it's just a pet, a stupid pet, but I thought it was really cool because it was super random. Because I'm like, why are you doing that? Like dropping pet rocks on people, but I'll take it. I haven't tried putting a collar on it. I probably could though. Do I even need all this stuff? No, I can just get out of here. This armor that I'm wearing is from the does anybody remember what that was called? It was like the season pass that they did. So I forget how much the season pass was, but you bought the season pass and it was like 2 years. You got gold rolls every single day. It was awesome. I absolutely love that. And then they gave you this armor as well as part of the season pass. It was really, really cool. So I am going to start off at level 1. Even though I have veteran status 2, I'm going to treat this like it's hardcore because you have to be level 1 to grab a hardcore lantern. They're going to make me do the Korthos quest though, right? Like, I don't think I can skip it. Maybe. I hope I can skip it. I don't have actually run Korthos, but we'll see what Jeet says. Okay, I can skip it. Good. All right, we're not going to worry about a weapon at this. So I'll take the. Actually, you know what? Let's take the longsword. Because I'm going to get the little lightsaber, whatever it's called. All right, so this is probably exactly how it's going to work on the event server. We click onto this and then we have to do this event. And in here, these 4 NPCs, actually 3 NPCs and that one tablet, will tell us the lore of what's going on. And basically, like this, they're UNT, which are like the snake, they're like snake monsters. They basically ascended and became like part of them. I don't know if they were wizards or clerics or whatever, but they ascended and became kind of like Vecna, where they're like godlike. And one group of them, these 5 of them, the 5 fangs, I think they call them, became so godlike that one of them became the Dark Lord. And they don't know which one, but a whole bunch of bad stuff happened as a result of that. That has sort of like locked this plane of existence in a permanent state of like a post-apocalyptic nightmare. So all these people, when you talk to them, they're kind of like, how the hell did you get here? What are you doing here? This is we're all survivors of this this tragedy, but you should just get out of here and leave. Well, if you read through all this stuff, which I won't do it now, I did it earlier. They just go over a lot of this, but so it looks like every character who goes to pick up the lantern is going to have to do sort of the same thing. I don't think you need to interact with any of these people, but if you wanted to like really deep dive into the lore of what's going on, they tell you. And then this here is where we get into the part that I like chain died for 10 minutes trying to figure out what the hell was going on the first time I came through here. But this here, I don't know exactly how it fits into the lore, but we're going to see a Balrog. And the Balrog is like stalking us. I'm not sure if the Balrog was sent to destroy the Dark Lord, or if it's a result of like an incursion into a plane of existence by the mist, these mistwalkers. But whatever it is, it's no joke, because these things, like, they hit really, really hard. Like, I got hit by one hit when I was on my level 34 Warlock. It was a CR 70, and it hit me for like 5,000 damage. So, luckily though, if this is a hardcore event, right? Like, the hardcore event isn't the same as it used to be. I can die. I don't have a lantern equipped. I don't need to worry about it. I just have to avoid letting that thing see me, right? So it apparently, if it sees you, it CCs you just like that. Like, I cannot move. And then see 12,000. Yeah, so I'm at minus 12,000. So I'm not sure if there's a way to blast through that really quick, but as soon as they see you, they do that CC, there's no getting out of it. Like, I haven't figured a way out of that route that they put on you. But I was sort of like, I had a lot of anxiety because I couldn't believe that I died already. And if it was a hardcore event, like a traditional hardcore event, I'd already be dead. But I think you can do what I just did there and just completely try to avoid the thing seeing you. Here's another one. And now I have to pull a lever. The lever is like behind him. And I don't know if they have like an area where they can see. Apparently. Yeah, that seemed to work. Bro, 12,000 damage at level 1. That seems a little excessive. You see, God, that's kind of nuts. Can I hide out over here? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so apparently they have like all video games, right? They have like a little coded area in front of them, like a cone that they can see. So as long as you stay out of that, you'll be okay. So I think going forward, like if I had to do this and not die, I think I probably could. The other good thing too is you're only level 1, so like honestly, if you really didn't want to, if like you were gonna do like a hardcore event yourself, like a permadeath honor mode thing, then you could always just make a new character, because we literally just made this character, right? So but so we're gonna come out of here and we're gonna end up finding the Guardians. The Guardians, they're like a I don't know if they're like a quasi-religious group or if they're kind of like the like a Marvel group of heroes, like the Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, but they are sort of like doing this Pokemoning of all the Mistwalkers. They're the ones who give you the lantern. They're going to tell you like all the lore of what's going to happen. So they want to like hire you, for lack of a better term, to go out and find all the mist walkers for them and then bring them back, bring all the essences back. That's why you turn the full lanterns in. And then what they're going to do is use that energy from those filled lanterns to unlock the massive like pyramid crypt that the Dark Lord is sealed up in. And they're going to try to figure out why the energy from this weird ritual that the Dark Lord did is seething out into all these other planes of existence. So my hope is that at some point we get like a raid, you know, where we all get to do like group content, where we go into, this is the massive structure right here that the Dark Lord is sealed in. Right now it's locked, and these guardians out here will, and again, you read all this stuff, they'll tell you an awful lot of lore if you read through here. Earlier when I did this on Mary, I read it all out loud. I will have that posted on YouTube, by the way, if you wanted to watch it. And so this stuff, you just basically can click through it. And they told us, all right, find us on the other side. We will give you the lantern. Now, see, if I click this, the door is locked. There's no way to get in there. So now we're going to pick up all the hardcore lanterns. And then we will equip one. So now, because we did that intro quest, we can see the those are the guardians right there. And we can either talk to the one to get our normal, or we can talk to the hardcore one. We're going to do the hardcore one. Oh. You are a level 1 character. To take a skull, you need to reset your experience points. What? Bro? Okay, I am level 1. Oh, I'm level 1 rank 2. I see. So if I do this, they're going to reset me to level 1 rank 1. We'll do it. I want to see what happens. Are they really going to delete experience that I have? Let's do it. Warning. Yes, they did. They just deleted whatever extra over 50. So that's something like we all need to keep in mind when we go to this new server, if we're going to do hardcore, is to not waste any time like messing around in level 1. We just want to go and do this immediately, because otherwise they'll just delete all the extra XP we make anyway. So we don't want to use like an XP renown potion yet, even though I did activate one. We just need to pick up all of our lanterns, and I'm pretty sure we can pick them all up. I'm going to try to break this, right? This is why we're here on the test server. We want to kind of mess this up if we can. Okay, don't need that. Should I wear armor? Yeah, we should probably wear armor. Okay, I have the first 3. Let's pick up 4. So that's the mount right there. And then we'll get the pet. That's the keeper is the pet, I'm pretty sure. All right, and so the easiest one to fill are the like 750 ones, right? Yeah, so that one, the pledge. So that would be the one we'd equip. So now we have one equipped. Probably a really dumb idea to do that, because I have no gold. You know what? I have no gold. I have no potions. I have nothing. I'm afraid, but I just want to basically get a sense of how tough this is. So, like, bro, I don't even have, like, I have nothing to buy even like the the cheap beginner potions, or what we need to do is something where I can get some money. So I think probably the best option would be, oh, I won't be able to go out here yet, will I? No. I think the best option for us is to do what I would do on hardcore itself and go to the Borderlands and run around in the Slayer zone there for a little while, pick up some gold on the ground, and then I can buy some potions, right? So if you own it, this is what I would recommend. This is usually what I do on hardcore. Just go right to the Borderlands, right? Like, because out here, even though I probably won't do the quests, we don't even need to pick up the quests. I just basically want to loot some of these Slayer Zone chests. The other thing I want to do is try to find a Cloak of Feather Falling, right? So that's huge. If we're on, let me give the magic carpet. If we're on the hardcore server, people die all the time falling. Like all the time, people are dying, falling. So, but I have to be really careful out here because I don't have any heal potions. I have nothing at all. So, like, if you know, like if a caster spawns on me, one of these Mistwalker casters. So I kind of want to get in, get out, right? Like I want a little bit of money. Maybe loot a chest or two. Let's see, is that chest there? It is. So we're gonna loot that chest. And this dude should be pretty easy to kill. I mean, all things considered, like, that's scary. So we're gonna loot this chest. See how much gold I got. I have 2 plat now, so I'm gonna recall. That's enough to buy some starter heal potions. We want to buy some starter heal potions. We also will have enough to buy like Byron, which is the really overpowered NPC. We could also buy like the cleric who could throw some heals on us too. On a Dragon Lord, that's probably not a bad idea because our DPS will be a lot higher, but usually what I would recommend if you're on hardcore is just pick up Byron because he's gonna obliterate anything. It's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just buy a bunch of heal potions and get Byron. I'm gonna put all the rest of the stuff that I have in my bank and then see if I can buy. I don't know if I can buy them here. No, it doesn't look like I can buy them here, although I'm going to pick up 20 stars just in case I need to hit a lever for now. And then, let's see. There's Byron, so we're going to grab Byron. Byron's only 4 gold. We just got 2 plat, so we've got plenty. Alright, so we've got Byron now. And then what we're going to do, we just have to momentarily go back to Korthos because this is where they sell those potions. And then we'll come back here and we'll go back out there and we'll try to find a Cloak of Feather Falling. Which this is exactly what I do on hardcore, by the way. Like, I'm not changing anything. Like, this is literally exactly what I do. This is the best place to go to buy low-level heal potions right away. They're only 5. Oh, bro. Why are they so expensive? I thought that they were 5 gold. They're 5 plat? 5 plat? Who has 5 plat at level 1? That's like so expensive. I didn't think you could have inflation in a video game, but I guess it's true. All right, we're gonna go back. We'll try to loot more of those chests. I have Byron just in case. I still have no way to heal myself. However, what we are going to do is we are going to get some of our spec going. And so what I'm doing is Dragon Lord, and my off tree is Fadark, and see which one will be better for us. Probably this one would be better because that will give me my soul power, right? So I'm just going to basically go with fire, because even though later on I'll be able to, utilizing my Sunder, I think it is, I'll be able to strip off the damage. I'll make them take, yeah, see, that's it right there. My breath weapon Sunder makes them vulnerable to whatever draconic energy you use. So that won't matter once I hit level 4 and I have 20 points. But for now, before I have the ability to do that, most everything under level 10 takes fire damage. Not everything, but most everything. So fire is what I'll go with there. And then I do have, like, I could go to the Hall of Heroes and grab my other. So if this were really hardcore, this is what I would do. I'd go to the Hall of Heroes. I have another racial point there. I have another action point from the Vecna expansion. So I would probably grab that. So I would have 2 more points to put into this. But for right now, not going to worry about it. There's our 1 racial. Here's our 1 universal. Okay, and now I have an extra point to put in. And I'll tell you something, at this low level, since I'm tripping and sundering, I'm just going to keep boosting my tactics. I've already got a tactics boost going. This also, though, see, this is why I'm definitely making a Dragon Lord, because at low level, like, we have no resists. Right, I've got 2 PRR, 0, and 0 on here. Well, if I take that, well, now I have 3 fire resist. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but at low level, that's a lot. On a server with nothing, no money, like, I'm so broke, I can't even buy a heal potion. And I'm carrying around a death lantern. But we have Byron. I can't believe Byron is less expensive than a heal potion, right? He's way, way better. The other thing we're going to do... Okay, here's the other thing we're going to do. Get rid of that garbage armor, and we're going to put on this. Even though I normally would never wear half plate, I don't care. We're just going to we're just going to put it on. We'll also equip these, even though spot and search won't help me out at all. And I did not go to the bank, but here's our buddy, Byron. He's going to help us. I put him on active. And now we're good to go. Look at that. Like, we're definitely cooking. Even though I would probably die from 1 hit from one of these new Mistwalkers, I have no way to heal myself. At least it feels like we're doing all right now. I mean, maybe Byron will take one for the team if we get a spawn of this. But my Sunder's working pretty well. Once we get the Fey Sword, the Fey Sword gets pretty good pretty quick. It's not that good at super low level, but it is force damage, so it pretty much hurts everything. Okay, but we don't really care about fighting this stuff out here, even though we're going to get, like, Slayer boosted. We just really want the chests. Like, that's what we're looking for, so... And this is an XP hit right over here. Like that little picnic. I'm fighting against the OCD to pick up the collectibles, but they're going to delete the server, so I'm not going to waste the time. Byron with me? He is. Okay, great. So we're just going to run up to the next chest. The good thing about this is that we get to pass a fountain. These fountains aren't like the Feywild where they have a chance to kill you, which the Feywild do not do this in the Feywild if you're doing hardcore. But in the Borderlands, the fountains give you a buff, a useful buff usually. They can give you a great set of buffs. They can give you a fire buff, an ice buff, a lightning buff, or what's the other one? Acid. Byron is just so overpowered at this level. Like, you can be on like a wizard, a level 1 wizard. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you ever make a level 1 wizard, they are god. They have like 2 hit points that you can cast 1 magic missile, and that's it. That's all you can do. But if you get Byron, he's just going to kill everything for you. So it makes it viable to having him in these level 1 and level 2 quests. I mean, you can technically use him into level 3. It's just he'll start to die once you get around champions. So I got the Earth Affinity, which is an hour-long acid buff. So not only do I get like in my resists, I take like less acid damage right there, right? I have 20% acid absorb, but my weapon attacks now have an acid buff on them, and just about everything takes acid, especially out here. You know, like goblins, what are they gonna do? The rare's not up here, so we're just gonna go to the spiders. But you can see now I'm doing fire and acid on this attack, which makes running around out here at level 1. This is why I always come out here, because it's really easy to kind of to help you get your economy up and running on a brand new server. And I'll show you a trick here. Now, I might do this wrong. Right? I might die here, but I'll show you the trick that I know. So whenever you have no feather fall, if you just free fall out there, there's a really good chance you die. Not 100%, but it's a really good chance. One way to kind of mitigate that is we want to try to step, obviously, you guys know this, right? But what we can do if for some reason we fuck it up is what we can face the wall and push ourselves into the pixels, and we can just slide. And you don't take nearly as much damage. See, I only took 7 points of damage falling all that way. If I were to just free fall out jump, it would have been a lot more. And you know that if you've ever died to falling, like in the harbor, you know, it's not that much higher than what we just fell off of, and you die. So is it going to save you all the time? No, but it is a tactic that you can use if you accidentally fall. If you can pixel push yourself into the surface against, like you're falling against, it can help mitigate the damage and keep you alive. So if you die, if you say, hey, I tried that and I died anyway, I mean, I'm just telling you what I don't know. I don't know if it's 100%, but it's a trick that I have done forever and it seems to work. But hopefully we find a chest that has a featherfall cloak in it and we don't need to worry about that. We were going to solve a main problem, like an early hardcoring, is dying to falling damage. We just need to get this featherfall cloak, and that will solve a whole bunch of problems for us. The next problem that we'd want to solve would be like how not to die going underwater and drowning. You can easily solve that if you make yourself a warforged, or if you decide to make an undead. But for us, you know, we got, like I do have a water breathing brooch that they give me. I do have this ring that I can cast. This is actually an AoE, so if I was with a group of people, I could put water breathing on them all. See how I just fell? I turned, like I still took a little damage. I didn't mean to fall there. I didn't want to take that damage, but at least I didn't take more than just 6 points of damage. As I have no way to heal myself, so I should probably, after I do this, I should probably like recall and heal up. Because Byron can't heal me, and if I get caught, I don't think there's a shrine near here. So I got a Helm of Clarity. It's okay. I mean, that, you know why that's okay on hardcore? That has a green slot. And we could buy something on the shard market, you know, like a topaz of water breathing. I think they only cost like 50 DDO point. Oh shit. Okay, we got one. Let's kill him. Oh, Byron's... Oh, I thought Byron was dead. Did you see that? That thing hit him for like 40 points. Whew. I got afraid. I saw the mist. We just got 4 points. Okay, so here's something else that I'm noticing. When I did all of the Mistwalkers at cap on the heroic version, the non-hardcore version, all of them gave me at least 6 points. Right? At least 6. I think some of them gave 7. So it was 6 or 7 points. That one gave 4. If they all give 4, then it's going to take even longer to farm the hardcore rewards because we're just getting less points for each Mistwalker. Like if that's a consistent 4 from 1 to 34, the good news is though that because we got one, now I'm not so worried that I'll get another one anytime soon. So I think I have time to go and find that shrine and rest up. I think the shrine is kind of right over there. I just want to check this dinosaur chest. People die to these fire beetles all the time. So you have to be careful with those. They breathe fire. They do like a scorch. So if you have low fire resist like me, you don't want to get caught in that scorch. You want to try to either kill them or stay away. And people die to them all the time. The other thing people die to in here all the time is the Medusa boss. What's her name? Off the top of my head, I can't remember what her name is. Queen something. Crazy Whist, how you doing? You guys remember the name of this Medusa out here? So keep in mind, I cannot die. Otherwise, my lantern gets destroyed. So I'm going to kill this dinosaur, and I'm going to recall and go to the bar and see if I have enough gold to buy some heal potions. Maybe I get my cloak. Oh, I got the gloves. I'm getting everything but I did get... See, this is what I call out bullshit for DDO. They're giving me 23 gold pieces. You guys know how many gold pieces are in one platinum piece? Bro, I need 5 platinum pieces to buy one heal potion that's going to heal me. It's a cure light wounds potion. And they're giving me 23 gold pieces. That's like giving me that's like me telling them, hey, DDO, I want Taco Bell. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll give you some money to go buy Taco Bell. Here's a quarter. Like, I'm not going to be able to get it for... I don't... Look, I have enough for one potion. Maybe if I sell the gems. We'll see. We're not going to mess around with no hit points, especially considering that Byron took a hit for 40 points of damage or whatever it was, 35 points of damage. If Byron wasn't there, I would have been dead. Probably. So I'm going to swap back into my Founder's Helm that gives me 5 more hit points because I don't have a Topaz for that. I don't need the intelligence boost. But it's just what I'm saying. Basically, the trick is what I would do here. I would save this. I'd go to the store. I'd buy a Topaz of Water Breathing for 50 DDO points if I had it. You can earn 50 DDO points pretty quick in the early game, right? Just doing all the harbor stuff. I think. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe it might take you till you're like level 3, but I think you can. Or if you're the type of person who just happens to have DDO points, I'm pretty sure you can access them on any server, right? So you spend 50, you buy the Topaz, and then slot it in there. Now you've solved your water breathing. if you're not a Warforged. So you have your hat, you just put it on the bar, and then whenever you need it, you equip it. And then you've got your Cloak of Featherfall that we're farming for right now. So those are two main early game problems that we have to solve, that we do by coming out here to the Borderlands. I think, you know. Did it just let me repair these back up? It did. And so they're probably gonna fix that, right? Can I? Oh, wait. Let's read that. I want to see what that says. That's important. What did that say? I want that message to come back because that had some important information in it. There it is. Okay, the Lantern in the Mist is running. Hardcore format challenges 1 to 20 without dying. If you wish to participate, you should seek out the mist near you before leaving or training beyond level 1. So, okay. I understand. I got all the lanterns, but I hope they're not telling me that you can't unequip it and equip it, because then how would you switch through them, right? Like, how would you switch to a different one, like Order or Shield? If it's unequipped, I hope it doesn't, like, flag you as dead. It is going to be interesting to see what they do for that. But the other thing, too, that I am super fascinated by is, obviously they're going to fix this, but if I repair them, do they it looks like I can waste money repairing them, but then they end up getting repaired. So can I then, just for testing purposes, to see what they give, can I turn one in now that it's full? Might as well try it since we're here, right? I mean, it is the test server. Because, I mean, I just repaired that, right? It's got full durability now. Can I turn it in? I have a lantern to turn in. Oh, no lantern. That lantern is not full yet. Will they let me? We're going to try. No, okay. So, hopefully they fix... Yeah, it's a little confusing. But it looks like it has some sort of code behind the scene to keep track of, like, actual mobs that filled up that bar. So even though I was able to repair them, they all got reset back to 0. That one still looks full. Let's see if I can turn that one in. All right, no. Let's see if I drag it there. It looks like you also have to have it equipped in order to turn it in. So the one that I was working on is that pledge right there. So I have 4 points in pledge so far. Oh, dude. Yeah, I just got a massive electric two-handed sword. And even though I'm doing charisma, for now, it won't matter. I'll be able to, like, run around and smack stuff with that giant two-handed sword. So we're going to go to the store. We're going to sell all the junk in our bag. I'm going to see how many heal potions I can buy. I have a feeling I'm only going to be able to buy like 2, but same exact thing we do if we play hardcore. It's bullshit right now that they're going to charge me 4 gold in order to fix lanterns that aren't broken. So it looks like probably... Hopefully they fix that. They're not giving me the option to, like, hide them either. I can't click on them and then, like, make them go away. So, but we will equip those gloves. These gloves are sort of the same idea because they have a green slot. Green slots are, like, the best slots right in the game because you can put anything. You can put a diamond, you can put a topaz, you can put a sapphire in it. I mean, you can't put anything in it, but in low level heroics, it's essentially anything. So anything that you needed to solve, whatever you're looking to do, whether you could buy a topaz of feather falling and slot it. So you could do the feather falling in the gloves and the water breathing in the hat, even though you don't care. It's your level 2. It's just going to help keep you alive, right? But we are still going to try to farm for that cloak because it's just nice to have it. Going to destroy that because I don't need it. And I'm going to swap. I'm going to sell those. And we'll swap out. Looks like I looted 100. All right, there we go. And I'll sell all my gems. I'm not going to sell the collars because they're unique, but I will sell that short sword. Technically, I don't need to keep the Helm of Clarity because I'm not going to do what I said. If it were actual hardcore, I wouldn't sell that. I'd keep it. But here, now I've got 100 plat. I'm going to go buy a bunch of heal potions. And then we'll be better positioned to go and find that cloak. And we did see a Mistwalker out in the Slayer zone, and it hit pretty hard, even though that's a story mode zone, right? Like, it's kind of scary. Do I have enough to buy 10? Yes. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, my other bags. I forgot to pick up the other bags. So that's the other thing I probably would do. And so I might as well go through the entire hardcore routine. Rather than just running around out there, I would definitely, as soon as I came in and got my lantern, even before running around with Byron, I would come to the harbor here. And because I made a character that has high charisma, I'm going to talk to this character here. And I'm going to tell him a haggle. And the haggle is going to give me an option to turn in for a reward. And then also give me a bunch of XP. So like that's one of the benefits of making like a charisma character early. Hey, we're getting rated by Tough RPG. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. I hope you guys are all having a great night. Good to see you. I appreciate the raid. I'm on the DDO test server, and we are playing around with the lanterns in the Mist event. It's going to be our new hardcore. Yeah. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. I hope you've been well. Yeah, I'm excited. It's not going to be like a full-on hit of hardcore because it's completely different, but it's going to be something that we can all do. I'll be there with Death Smile. We'll try to get everything up and running to give people a safe place to kind of mingle and talk about their experiences, and then we'll see going forward what it's going to be like to do these hardcore lanterns. Right now, there's a lot of questions out there like, can non-hardcore people run around with hardcore people and help them kill the Mistwalkers? Can you just run around with like a plethora of hirelings and make that, like put them all on attack when a Mistwalker comes if you're soloing? You know, like people who have all of the expansions, once you hit like, level 15, level 18, you can have what, like 5 hirelings out. So like, will they just murder the Mistwalker as soon as it shows up? I don't know, but I mean, there's a lot of things to see like for the hardcore event. Some of the downsides that I've noticed for the event, just as a hello to all the raiders coming in, I appreciate you guys. The spawn rate on the Mistwalkers is really slow. There's no way to trigger it. There's no telling when something might show up. It's just completely random. I did a quest. I was in the quest for like a half hour and I didn't see one at all. So, I mean, if you were trying to target farm for a piece of gear and you have a busy life, you didn't have a long, like, let's say you only have a couple hours to log in every other day, maybe a total of like 15 hours a week. it might take you a long time to fill these lanterns, because not only are the mobs really hard to predict when they're going to spawn or why they spawn, but for the hardcore version anyway, killing a Mistwalker only gave me 4 points. Killing the normal version, the non-hardcore version, gave me 6 or 7 points. So it was almost double the amount of points for doing the non-hardcore version. So I think the immediate takeaway from that is they're only cosmetic. They're not going to add to your character's power. In order to participate, you're going to have to leave your home server and make a new character, because they're not enabling transfers to Cormyr when they launch it for this event, right? So you're going to have to make a new server. It's going to pull you away from your home server. So unless you're really like, you love cosmetics and you want to participate in the event, I can't see a strong draw to come over here. And then the other thing is, I don't know how much cooler the hardcore gear with the skull on it is going to be than the normal story mode gear. But with the hard mode gear, it's going to be a much bigger time grind. It looks like it's going to be close to like 50% more time to fill these. And then if it's only like a little hardcore skull, is it going to be worth it if you're riding around on a cat mount? Okay, you're on a cat mount for the normal mode. You're on a cat mount with the skull emblem for the hard mode. Like, I don't see it as a huge difference. So I don't know. I mean, I might be overthinking it, but yeah, right. It's almost 50% more. Welcome, Raiders. I appreciate you guys. Hope everybody's having a good night. So I killed a Mistwalker on my hardcore lantern, got 4 points. I killed a Mistwalker on my normal mode lantern, and I got 7 points, I think. Might have been 6 points. So, you know, that's going to be significantly less time to do the normal mode as opposed to the hardcore mode. Not to mention, hardcore, you cannot die once you equip that lantern. Otherwise, the lantern is destroyed, as opposed to the normal mode where it doesn't matter. You can just die, and you can you can pick up the lantern at any level. You can die. It doesn't matter. So the real question, like, that I want to know is, what does the gear look like? Because I got to be honest, if that mount for doing normal looks anywhere even remotely similar to the hardcore one, I can't see it being worth the extra effort to do the hardcore one just to get a little hardcore logo on it. Like, yeah, it's cool. Like, if we look at my cloak, that's a hardcore logo. But DDO FOMO, even though it's a real thing, it's not like... people don't often sit around the bank and show off rare things like they do in World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? It's... So while we do have a little degree of FOMO, it's like nobody cares. Like, a great example of what I'm talking about is my Season 6 horse. Right? The only way to get this was by doing 5,000 favor on whatever it was, Season 6. It's a great horse, but it's not like I have, like, people following me around because of that. And it was an awful lot of work to get that. So do I want to go through all that? Like, in other words, if doing story mode gave me this horse, but it didn't have that 6 there, I might just do that just to get the horse, and who gives a shit about the 6? So I'm hoping that the hardcore rewards with the skulls on them look like, are just so much better that it's like, oh yeah, I have to do the hardcore version. It's like that Jaguar mount is just way better than the normal mode mount. And the other thing too to consider is, well, what if you're a dude who collects mounts? What if you want them both? Bro, now you're talking about a massive time sink, because if you want to collect all the different rewards, if the normal ones are different than the hardcore ones, you're talking about like a long, like months of farming. And even if you were like, yeah, I'm taking the next week off, I'm going to play 10 hours a day nonstop or whatever. Maybe that's not even a lot. Maybe 16 hours a day. I played for 3 hours. I got a Mistwalker in every quest doing this heroic version. And I think I wound up with like 30 or 35 points, which I think was about 5% of the total 750. So if we write 5%, if we multiply that out 3 hours to do 5%, you can see like that's a significant amount of time, and that's just to get like the base, the pledge version of the story mode, right? This one I did one Mistwalker, I got 4 points, so that's maybe like 20 or 30% less points than I probably have the percent wrong, but in other words, it's going to take even longer for the hardcore one. So it's going to be a lot of ifs going into this event on how much time do I have? How much time do I want to devote to it? How different are the different cosmetics? Do I really need both mounts? Like, can I just be happy with one mount? Can I be happy with the story mode mount? Do I need to have the hardcore mount? Me being a hardcore guy, I'm probably going to try for it, but the average player, like they're talking about a big commitment of time, I think. So I just picked up my 2 bags. So this is exactly what I would do if this were legit hardcore. If this server just opened, I would do exactly what I'm doing now. I would have made my character, got off on Korthos, picked up my lantern by doing that lantern quest, come out, and then rather than going out with Byron and like messing around there initially, I would have done what I'm doing now. I would have grabbed my bags, and then I'd ride over to this bank and dump off all of the stuff that I have in my bag from like when I made my character, just because I don't need to have the space taken up to carry it around. I probably would, to be honest with you, like click off all of these, get all the different reward stuff. Like if I click this here, this is going to have like a couple of things that I can use right now, like it's skill tomes I can use. I'm not going to bother using them right now. It also gives me experience point sovereign buffs that I'll put in my shared bank. That's from purchasing where I got that, if you're wondering how I got that. That's from the Menace of the Underdark, I think the collector's edition. I'm pretty sure. It was either that or the Shadowfell collector's edition. It was one or the other. I think it was the Shadowfell, actually. And then all this junk, I'm not going to worry about it here. Like I said, I'm just going to move all this stuff. I don't need to carry any of this. On the hardcore server, I'd probably try to sell that, because when the hardcore first starts, I spend like a lot. I buy the guild ship. I buy a bunch of astral shards. So what I'll try to do like is sell off this stuff and try to make some of that back quickly to help out with things, because the guild ship ends up getting so expensive and costing so much to get the buffs going. Sometimes they sell. A lot of people get that tan striped dragon, so sometimes you'll sit on it for the entire season. You won't sell it, but other times you can sell it pretty quick. Just depends. Depends what they plan on doing with Cormare too, since it's like a different type of server than the original idea for the hardcore server that was turned on for 3 months and then deleted. Whereas I think they're making Cormare either like semi-permanent, quasi-permanent, mostly permanent. It may be like less of an incentive for people to just randomly buy stuff like that, and they'll just wait for their transfers from the main server where they can actually move their pets and stuff. And so I have all the lanterns that I want. You cannot pick them up after you leave level 1, so I'm going to tell the game that I'm done. I've already got all the lanterns that I want, so I'm just gonna level up. And in case you're wondering, my charisma Dragon Lord build that I'm doing now, I'm probably going to get my jump to like 5-ish, and then I always blast UMD. I might start blasting Intimidate later. I always put 1 point in Tumble. But at this level, because I only have 2 points, I'm just doing UMD and jump. With the skill tomes that I got in the Shadowfell, I probably would do jump, because it's good to have jump on hardcore. And then I would probably do, they don't have UMD, but I would probably do intimidate. And I think the other one I would probably do is haggle, just because it's hardcore and I have nothing. So like would make it so that I got a little bit more money on stuff that I turn in, since my charisma is already high. You know, that would give I would get my haggle up around 10. That's not high, but I would be getting a little bit more gold on like sales. So it would kind of help. But on a character, if once I had my economy established, like if I had already made a tune and gone to cap, I probably wouldn't take haggle. I would probably take something like bluff or balance, something like that. For this here too, for the build like low level, I absolutely love sap. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. You can go to Fred later and swap it out, but in low level, it's like a really effective CC. And it doesn't have a DC associated with it. You just need to basically sap something. There's certain monsters you can't sap, but so that's usually what I do is I go for sap. So if we get any mist stalkers, I'm gonna try to sap it, right? Later on, like once I hit like level 15, I could probably swap that out for another feat, you know, for something else. But for this low level, that's what we're gonna take there. That's what I do. I mean, I'm not an expert on building a melee by any means. So if you're watching me and you're like, yeah, he's been playing forever, he knows what he's doing. That's not necessarily the case. Like my build works, it's effective for how I play, but it might not be everybody else's cup of tea because we're a fighter who's focused on charisma. I didn't blast strength. And most of our build focuses on utilizing Fade Arc. We get the Fey Sword. We end up getting Color Spray at level 6. And then we use that with our Dragon Roar. So we get 2 really solid CCs. And then when we add that with Sap, we have 3. And we're also tripping and sundering. So, and we end up getting... It's just so strong. That's why I'm going to do this on hardcore. It turns out to be so effective at like controlling the battlefield and making sure that you aren't like overwhelmed. Even if you're surrounded by mobs, you can usually effectively CC them all. All right, so now I did all that. And so what I would do next is go back and because we still need to get our cloak, our feather falling cloak, so we don't die accidentally. Another point of interest for you guys, if anybody doesn't have, like I told you the story why I have that medium bag, but I'll show you what you can do if you're wondering if you want a green bag. So the easiest, quickest green bag to grab, since you're running by this character anyway, is to talk to Felix here and they'll give you a tiny green bag. But you don't have to take the tiny green bag. What you can do is if you go to the 12, you can talk to the 12 patron and the 12 patron will give you a free small bag. You don't need to do anything in order to qualify to get this. You just have to ride out there and get it. Something to be really careful about though, when you're here, at low level, if you accidentally fall off this bridge into the lava, you're probably going to die at low level. You have to be really careful. Some dude got into my Discord for hardcore like 2 seasons ago and bitched for an hour because he rode over this bridge into the lava and died. And I'm like, well, tell me what happened, man. Like, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that happen. He's like, oh yeah, I'd been playing since yesterday and I like went to the 12 and I fell asleep as I was riding over the bridge. So the story expanded into this wild, crazy, like I wanted to ask him, bro, were you like huffing like whippets? Like what I don't understand how you just fall asleep. I don't know. I didn't say anything though, but apparently he just fell asleep while he was riding over that bridge and rode into the lava. So be careful. So this dude here, talk to the patron and give you a small green bag for free. And here's the thing, even if you don't need it, you could take it and sell it. on the auction house because it's not bound. Or you trade it to a friend of yours if you wanted to. You know, you don't have to, or you can put it in the guild bank, whatever you want to do. Me personally, because I have that medium bag that I got from the thing that I told you that they did with the Wondrous bags. I don't need it, so I'm just going to destroy it. But if this were hardcore, no, probably what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll like either try to sell it or ask in guild if anybody needs one and just give them the small bag since I already have the medium bag and I don't need the small one. I mean, I always think it's nice to try to recoup some of the money for the hardcore guild, but it's usually I don't care. Usually I'll just give the stuff away instead of trying to resell it. But the bags, yeah, I mean, you can buy a bag on the store. That's another way to go about it too. If you wanted to whale out, right? You can get everything that you need on the store. So we're going to go back. And the whole idea is to see like how many of these Mistwalkers we can pop, how many points we get. Okay, so I no longer need that because I have my Face Sword. So we're going to do that here. You know what's actually interesting is I'm going to see which one does more damage because I have not taken single weapon fighting yet, which is what the build uses. I wonder if I can do 2-weapon fighting and what my hit is. Let's see. All right, so here's the single. So the single is 1 to 3, crit on a 20 plus 2. And then the double is 1d6. Wait, why does that look so much better? Wait. Something's wrong. Why does that look so much stronger? All right, here's the single. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the single. All right, so it's 1d6 plus 6. 19 to 20. It lasts 30 minutes. It's using my charisma modifier, which is why we're charisma based, right? That's the whole point. All right, there we go. All right, it's force damage. It got incorporeal. How great is that for hardcore? We already have ghost touch. We're doing force damage, ghost touch, and we got a +5 modifier on it. Like, that's crazy good. But it looks like if I do the 2-weapon version, all it does is just add another source of me getting another 1d6 plus 3 force with a chance to do a crit. So, like, until I get single weapon fighting, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to dual wield until I get, okay, here's the Mistwalker right here. There we go. And we erased it. No problem. No problem at all. Let's see how many points I got. So I had 4 points. Bro, I have 7 points now. That one only gave me 3 points. So to put this into context, in the story mode, non-hardcore version, when I killed the first Mistwalker, it brought my points to 7 for just killing one. I've killed 2 in hardcore and I have the same amount of points. So from what that says, unless it changes when they launch, that it's going to be twice as long, somewhere around there. Maybe not a full-on, like, but significantly more time to fill these hardcore lanterns than to fill the story mode lantern. So it's something that you definitely want to plan for as you consider like how you're going to play this new event, and what you're going to chase. To be honest, I'm not sure. Like looking at the amount of time of course I love cosmetics. I obviously want all of them, right? But if I really have to like spend, 6 months to get all the hardcore stuff, am I really going to be motivated to spend another 3 months to get all the story mode stuff? Maybe, I guess, if that's just basically all I do. Like if I decide, I'm really not going to play on Sarlona anymore. I'm just basically going to play on Cormier and do Death Smile, which probably for the short, for the next 3 months, that's easily what's going to happen because, usually the hardcore running any guild can take a lot of time, right? But if we get a lot of people like we usually get on hardcore, then it's just going to be even that much more. Like usually on hardcore, I don't actually start questing until like the second week of the event. The first week I spent doing mostly guild stuff, making sure that like I get everybody in and set, and we get all the guild buffs set up for everybody, and because the whole idea is to have like the community, the safe space, the place people can go to look for answers to questions or find people to quest with or get the buffs from the ship, right? But, this is going to be slightly different, so we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm hoping that the number of the mist renown that you get, whatever they're calling that, the durability, I'm hoping that that is sort of like random enough that, if you kill 10, some of them are giving 3, some of them are giving 4, some of them are giving 5. I'm hoping that it's not all like super low. So this one here, I got a fire affinity, meaning that I have a fire absorb now. We can see that right there. And I also now have fire dice on my force weapons, which we can see right here. So now I'm doing force and fire. And, at low level, fighting stuff in the harbor, this is super strong. It's hard to beat this. This is like probably arguably like one of the strongest things you can play in DDO in the early game. Dragon Lord. So I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Dragon Lords. Will we see all Dragon Lords? No, because there's a lot of other stuff that's really good too. But and here's the trick: we just push ourselves into we pixel push. The only time I took damage was when I fell off the pixels and I was free falling for a little bit. But as long as you can keep contact with the wall, pushing against the wall, you won't take any damage. Like I said earlier, it's not 100%, but it's a really good strategy if you don't have feather fall. Just don't ever free fall. Make sure that you're constantly like pushing against, any pixels that you can push into. And I love dual wielding in DDO. I think it's super fun. I usually do single weapon fighting, but you could easily do this build as dual wielding. You just have to sort of come up, but I think single weapon fighting is just easier, is why I did it, because you have to come up with like, you have to solve more problems if you're two weapon fighting. You have to have higher dexterity to start off, because in order to buy a lot of the upgrades for dual wielding, it costs you, like, you have to have like 17 dex, I think. Whereas single weapon fighting, all they care about is balance. And so that's something, like I told you what I would use those tomes at the beginning for. I absolutely would put points in balance, because I need to have balance in order to do single weapon fighting. So balance is what we're going to start adding. We just wanted a couple of points in jump, just because jump is so useful in this game, but and now I don't really care about this stuff, I may or may not turn in this glyph for the chest. What we really care about is to, you know, to find the rares and get a feather falling cloak, and then we're going to get out of here. We don't really need to stay out here. I don't even think that you need to do these quests out here because they don't give that much renown. If you were hunting renown, which we're not even in an event where we're hunting renown, right? But if you were hunting renown, they're slightly harder than other quests at the level, and the loot is not worth the time. And the difficulty is not worth the time. Like, I hardly ever run these. What I would do if I really wanted the renown for these is I would come back out here and do them in epics. That's what I would not do them in heroic. It's just not worth it. They're a lot harder than the stuff you go do in the harbor, and the reward's not worth it. Like, if they gave gear that was similar to Feywild, I would, because Feywild stuff is like Feywild. Once I hit the level where I farm Feywild, I usually stay out in Feywild and farm it for a few days and try to load up on Feywild gear, because I will wear Feywild gear from level 5 all the way to end game. It's not unusual to see me doing Reaper quests, R4s at endgame with a piece of level 5 Feywild gear on hardcore. It's just the way it goes. Like, obviously you want to try to get yourself into like a level appropriate gear set, but if for some reason you couldn't, that's viable. And so here's the money, here's the payoff. You guys can see it doesn't take that long. This is super easy grind to do for hardcore, right? Like, there we go. That's our feather falling cloak. That solves that whole entire series of problems for us that we get if we don't have feather falling. And another great reason to come out here is we just got a silver ingot. I can turn that silver ingot for a returning throwing weapon, which I need to hit levers. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to sell off these shurikens that I just have a stack of 100 just in case I needed to throw them at something. We're going to get a returner right there. If you're a caster, you come out here, you farm the arcane ingots. If you wanted to get a ghost touch, you farm the ethereals. Super, super, super quick and easy. And look, there's another chest here. So we will see if we can get an ethereal, because I would like the silver one's okay, but I'd much rather have the ethereal, because if I need to throw a dagger, having ghost touch makes it that much better. The other thing you do too out here is I just got a quail feather. If you didn't want to, like, if for some reason you didn't own a mount, if you didn't want to buy something off the store that had a mount, although most people have mounts these days, but if you didn't, you can come out here and farm these quail feathers, and with 20 of them, you can turn them in for a horse. And because so many people have horses, it says here collect 15, so they actually reduce the amount of feathers you need to get a horse. So many people have like the account-wide horses that, like, if you were running with me, for example, or if you even want to do this when hardcore launches, just let me know and I'll do this with you. I'll help loot the chest and pass you all the feathers so you can get a horse if you didn't have one. So like that, I think they bind to your account once you, we'll check it. I just want to make sure. Otherwise, can we list these on? Yeah, they're bound to account. So I have to trade them off. So I would have to actually come out here and loot chests with people and just pass them in the chest. But totally happy to do that for a little while when hardcore starts. But for me, because I usually take such a slow start to hardcore, most people are way past level 1 by the time I start questing at level 1. You know, because like I said, I usually don't start questing for like the first week or so, give or take. But I'm always happy to play with people. That's why I like that event. Chief Visigoth. Ranged weapons, Borderland bows are good. Yeah, I mean, this stuff, it's not the best, but it's good. Now, the unfortunate thing is like the gear quest, the quest in the gear, I'm saying that correctly, it's not that good. Like it's level 1. It doesn't really like it's not. I wouldn't say it's super worth farming. The stuff out here in the Slayer Zone is great to have because of the green slots, and now I have, you know, feather falling. But I don't think I'd target farm anything out here. I would just leave. I would leave and I would go to the salt marsh. Salt marsh gear is way better. You actually want to target farm salt marsh to get that the death ward helmet. But so the ingots drop super frequent, the feathers drop super frequent, and I've said this a few times. If anybody's jumped into channels since you're on hardcore, two of the big things that you have to solve immediately on hardcore, because you have nothing, you don't have an economy up, you don't have any gear in your bank, is how do you survive if you fall, and how do you survive if you're drowning. And these items solve these problems because they have green slots. You can buy a topaz of water breathing on the store. If you didn't want to, you can also go the route where you craft your water breathing item. That's also a viable route. It's really cheap to craft it. Anybody can craft water breathing at level 1. Anybody can craft feather falling at level 1. So there's like another way to do this, but this is usually what I do. I usually just come out here and solve all these problems here, but you certainly can do it a completely different way. But what I would do is, you know, all it takes is 50 DDO points, I think, and you buy a topaz of water breathing, slot it in that helmet, and that solves. It's an account-wide water breathing item that solves the problem. You can pass it around to other characters. You can keep it in your bag and just equip it when you need it. You don't have to run around with that helmet on all the time. You can just, if you're drowning, you can just equip it, and it's going to save you. Same thing with the feather falling. It's not like, I wouldn't recommend running around without feather falling on, but I know people who do. Well, some people don't like feather falling, so I always think it's good to have it. But even if you didn't want to have it on all the time, having access to it just in case, you know, you put it on the bar, if you accidentally fell and you were quick enough, you could click it and it would, you know, it would save you from dying on the ground. You have to be really fast though to do that, but you could always make a hotkey or something. And so once we get, so technically we're done. I'm just going to finish out the run where I check the other, there's like 2 or 3 more chests, and then we'll get some XP for finding the standing stone. Yeah, the death block. Death block, if you buy the topaz, you cannot slot death block until you're level 12. However, you can find an item that has death block on it, or you can craft it. If you go to the Kenneth Crafter, you just have to collect some really easy to get collectibles, and you can craft feather falling, water breathing, and death block with you only need to have like 1 crafting. You don't have to have high crafting to craft those for yourself. You do have to run around and pick up collectibles though. But luckily most of the early quests you can just farm, you can target farm. So like Baudry's, you could you know, go in, loot the collectibles, exit, reset it. You know, just keep going in and out of Baudry's in the harbor. Especially that one where you're supposed to go in and break the boxes. If you go through that quest, there's like 4 or 5 collectibles in that quest that you can just pick up. There's no mobs, so you don't have to worry about getting attacked. In this particular thing, if you had a lantern, you probably will get attacked by a mistwalker with a lantern, but that's the only thing you'd have to worry about in there. There is a mob at the end, I think. There's a caster, so you'd want to not, like, obviously not aggro that, but you can pick up all the other collectibles. I think if you don't fight that one mob at the end, you only miss 1 collectible. I might be wrong though. Usually I like target farm the first quest in that, where you run around, you know, the one where the kobolds break the big box. You can run in and out of that, and there's 2, I think there's 2 collectibles in that. you can just reset that one over and over and over and just pick up all of those. And generally, if you wanted to craft this stuff at level 1, on hardcore, it works out. I should make a video for my YouTube channel showing this. I never have. Usually because I do exactly what I'm showing you guys here now. Like, I think this is just as easy as doing that, but you certainly could do it if that was more your bag of, like, you know, doing the Cannith crafting. As somebody who loves Cannith crafting, I think it's really cool to do that. But, it's all, you know, the other lure for me coming out here and doing this is the fact that I also have a chance of getting some gear out of these chests. You know, like, I have a chance anytime you loot a chest, like, you could, I think, don't those purple Uon stones have a chance of dropping out of literally any chest? So if you get lucky enough to pull one of those, which they drop a lot in the harbor for some reason. The other thing too is I have no money, right? It's like, so the server just opened. I need some money. So coming out here and doing these, not only will I be able to, like, sell the gems and loot the gold out of the chest, but when I sell all the junk that I'm not going to wear, it's at least 20 platinum for each of those pieces. Some of them are 40, some of them are 100. That's quite a bit. It's enough to buy potions. It's enough to buy hirelings. It's enough to, you know, if you got like 500 platinum, you go to the marketplace and you can buy up, you know, you can buy a few heal wands. You can buy yourself some neutralize poison potions, some remove curse potions, like things that will help keep you alive if you start doing content that's a little bit harder than normal, right? Like, if you're doing elite, or if you're crazy enough to do Reaper on hardcore at level 1, what people do, having potions to solve, you know, like, if you get cursed, having remove curse. If you get poison, having remove poison, because it'll, you know, keep you alive. Those potions are expensive though, so usually I wait until I have like 1,000 or 2 plat before I go. We're gonna check the crazy old man, and then if that's it, we'll reset it and go. I technically am done out here. We can go over to the harbor and we can see how we do versus something like maybe like what's that quest there? I'm completely drawing a blank on it. It's because I've run it a million times. My mind is like purposely forgetting it because it's been scarred. It's the butcher's path, right? Or the quest at the Kobold Brothers. Like, we could run those quests. All those quests are really good to run a couple times early because they have a lot of chests. You can get a lot of gear. You can get some quick money. Another quest that's good to do a couple of times is the one that's in Korthos, where you have to defend the bar. It's not that that's super interesting to do, but that quest has a bunch of chests, and you can, you know, get a bunch of XP and a bunch of gear reasonably safe if you do that. You know, like elite, then you do it maybe elite again or hard, and then you do it once on normal. I'm certainly not, I probably won't do that, but like, if you need, I did that during hardcore league, like 1 and 2, in order to like try to get my economy going. But I think those were before the Borderlands were released, and then once they released Borderlands, I came out here, and this is usually just what I do. Because even these boxes, like, if you break these, see how they drop stuff. Like, you can pick that up. And we saw, like, I bought those heal potions for 5 plat a piece. So I just picked up 10 platinum by picking up those 2 potions. Like, that's huge for me. So why not? Why wouldn't I come out here? And this is really sort of like low risk. What's the Medusa's name? Is it Hera? Yeah, Skip Hera. There's no reason to fight Hera out here, ever. She's optional. Okay, the crazy old man. He's over this way, I think. Yeah, he's right over. We don't really have to, you know, we haven't really been in a situation where we need to CC, but I can show you what sap will do. I don't know if I can sap a blight. I'll try. All right, it killed him. It just, I'm doing so much damage, I really can't even sap anything without killing it. But if we get another Mistwalker that spawns, they're UNTs. I should be able to sap it. This is like a named hobgoblin, I think. I'm gonna try. I don't know if it's like a red name, but I should be able to try my sap. I'll try it on that dude. Yeah, you see, I sapped him. He was CC'd. Really, really effective for one target anyway. That's why I like to use it. Yeah, this dude, can I sap him? Oh, Byron just blew him away. Okay, give me some big money. Give me a chicken dinner. Oh, we got an ethereal ingot. That's what we wanted. We'll go turn that in now. I don't need the shield, but we got the shield. Shield is good if you need shield, right? It's good. It's a cleric shield. It's a heavy shield. And it has a blue slot. Not the best, right? It'd be better if it were green, but it has a blue slot. And why not, man? Magic shield at level 1. So there is another rare. I didn't pick up the sigils to turn in for the little garbage monster, but we'll do this one. Oh, we got the bracers. Really cool. So when you do the Korthos quest line, you do end up with a pair of bracers. You can get like the spear block bracers, which are really cool, but these are just as good, like I think. You know, 4 fire resist really isn't that much, but it's stacking. So we put those on. I should have 7 now. Yeah, I do. See, because of my dragon heritage, I've got now 7. Well, at level 1, level 2, 7 is pretty damn good. Like 7 is solid. If you can get your resists to 10 and you're under level 5, you're doing pretty good. You know, is it going to keep you alive? No. Especially if you're doing Reaper, that's different. But if you're doing Elite or lower, normal, normal, that is a ton of resist in normal because the mobs just aren't, you know, they don't have a lot of, they're not going to hit you for a lot of fire damage. It'll be like 1 or 2 points, so you'll soak it up. And like I said, I personally would skip all these. Won't even waste my time. The XP is not high enough. The gear is not good enough. But, I mean, that's not to say if you did them, I don't think you're wasting your time. It's just me personally, I would not do them. And I don't need any of this stuff, so I'm just going to sell it. That helmet is fantastic. And is it worth me getting rid of 5 hit points? Yeah, I think it actually is. Because not only does it give me sheltering, which I want, but it also gives me a UMD, which I want, just in case I pick up like a healing wand at some point. It'll make it so that it hits easier. So, I mean, is it perfect? No. But it's good. The other thing I could do too is look for better armor, because that armor, that max dex bonus armor check penalty -4, that's -4 on my jump, and I don't like having an armor check penalty. So likely what I'll do is equip this leather armor. I'm going to lose 4 armor total, but I'm going to be like more mobile. And I also benefit from, I get another +1 dodge. Dodge is stacking, like dodge is really good to have. And then sonic resist, even though it's only +2. And then these extra helms of clarity, I'll just sell them. Oh, did I get 2 of these? It looks like I got a sheltering spell focus and a sheltering UMD. I'm going to keep the UMD one. Spell focus would be good too. Once we start color spraying, like having the extra DC for our color spray. But we're pretty far away from color spraying. Like we won't start color spraying until we hit level 6. So like I don't really need to worry about that right now. And then like I said, I would have passed these off to somebody, or they'll just wind up in my shared bank or whatever. Like I won't really think about them because I already have, you know, on the server I have a couple of mounts that I got from other stuff. Like I haven't claimed all the mounts that I have, and I still have quite a bit of mounts. So I did get this one. I forget where I got the Phantom Steed, though. I think I got it from the dojo. I think. Because I haven't actually, like, looted one in reality. So I think I got it from, like, the dojo. Let's get rid of these. So this is the other thing we're going to do. Is we're going to sell this. So let's show hidden. Okay, we're going to sell that, even though it was only like 1 copper piece or something like that. And then we're going to go. Now, this is just my feeling on armor. Like if I had chainmail, I probably want to wear that instead of leather armor, but I just don't like the armor check penalty on plate mail, which is why I got rid of that. But we're going to grab our, what I want is an ethereal throwing dagger, which is right here. So that's ghost touch, returning, magical +1, and it costs 1 of these. Super easy to loot. You should spend a little time out there. So now if I need to hit a lever, I have a returning throwing dagger. So that problem is solved. So I just going out here solves a lot of like early game problems for me. Super cool. And we still have Byron, who is OP. And then what I would probably do on Hardcore League, you know, if this were a live event and I was actually doing it now, it's not a test server, I probably would just go through and do all this Korthos stuff just to get it done, because it's good. It's early, easy renown. It's early, easy money. Like I said, you can target farm money out of this quest in the bar here because it's really easy to do, and it gives you a lot of XP, and you can end up getting a little bit of gold out of it. How much gold do I have right now? I have almost 500 plat, so like I can even afford to buy like, say, like 10 more of these. So now I have 23 of them, and then I could, with that much plat, I could probably even go to the marketplace and buy a wand or like remove curse, something that I think would be useful to have. Or I could just save it, you know, like. Yeah, if I were going to farm for mats, you know, you guys may have done this before, but so here's the thing to understand about like materials when you farm, right? It's not part of this system at all. So it's not like if you're farming for Kenneth Crafting, you have to go in on elite. You can go in on casual. And that would make any monsters that pop up and try to interfere with you like super weak. You're not going to finish the quest, right? You're not doing anything. All you're doing is just grabbing the collectibles, right? There's 2 in here. And I could break these boxes and pick up whatever drops. Now, they have, I suspect, even though they never released this in the patch notes, they have nerfed the stuff that drops in the harbor, because I think a lot of people do this. So I would do this out in the Borderlands. Like you saw, I was breaking boxes and picking stuff up, but you could easily come out here and just break all these boxes, pick up these collectibles, and then leave. We're good to go. I'm not going to bore you guys by staying out here breaking all these boxes, but like if you were super brand new to the game and the server and you just wanted to basically start your economy off by having a little bit, this is great. You just reset it now. And you can do this as a VIP. You can do this as a free-to-play, because it's not, this system has nothing to do with like picking up the stuff. You can do it on normal. I think free-to-play has access to casual, I'm pretty sure, right? It doesn't matter. Like none of it's, my understanding of the way this stuff works, I don't think that these vases drop that much more or better stuff if you're in elite as opposed to casual. I don't think it matters at all. So the only thing that level system changes is the strength of the mobs, and then the treasure in the chests at the end of the game, like the end or the side quest treasures or something like that, but none of this stuff. So I pick up my little pale creeper there and then maybe break a couple boxes on the way out. And there's a regular potion of Cure Light Wounds. Like, that's huge when you've got nada. And you don't get any sort of like a hit on your character. You're not losing anything for doing this. It's not like resetting this costs you anything, right? You cannot select Reaper, which I wouldn't recommend. Like, some people might say, oh, I'm just going to target farm it on Reaper, but you got to remember that Reaper quests are different, and they can spawn a Reaper on you randomly in the middle of nowhere, even if you're just standing around not doing anything. So it's like much more dangerous for hardcore to do Reaper questing in heroics at low level. And I don't need these mats, but I'm just showing you guys what I would do if I did. All right, and so you get it, right? You get the gist. So that's what I would do. So let's fast forward and say that I did that for the last 6 hours, and now my brain is oatmeal. But now I have a bag full of crafting mats. And what I can do then, we should probably do this just to check it, right? Just for giggles, since we're here. We'll do that in case anybody's curious. So what I would highly recommend, talk to this dude when you can and get this quest. They will give you like they'll start a crafting quest. We might be too low level for it. I'm not exactly sure what level you have to be to start that off, but then I would go with my bag full of collectibles. And I'm still level 2. See, I think doing Borderlands is a little easier than this, but you certainly can do it this way. You go to the crafting hall, and then we just need to check and see what materials we need to make the different things. And if you can pick up this quest, I'm not sure what level you have to be in order to do these starter crafting quests, but they're worth doing on a new server. Okay, we go to bound shards because that's what we want to craft. And we're going to look up feather. So feather falling. So we need, this is all we need. We need 10 essences Super easy to get 10 essences. We have a 100% chance to make this, right? You can see. We need 15 prayer beads, which these drop from kobolds everywhere. So just go to the harbor, just go to any quest where there's kobolds, they drop these prayer beads. And then the Kyber pamphlets are what we were just doing. So if I needed Kyber pamphlets, I would go into the Baudry's quest, the one that's right on the left that looks like a little desk, that drops Kyber pamphlets. I don't think I got any because of the materials that drop Kyber pamphlets are pretty rare. I got a bunch of research notebooks, which these are also useful to have, right? But so you can see, like, you probably would have to do that for like an hour, just basically running in, looting, resetting, running in, looting, resetting. And then what'll happen is you'll get these, go kill a bunch of kobolds, get your 10 things, and then you can craft that feather falling onto whatever item you want. Water breathing. Can we do water? Is it underwater? Yeah, there it is, underwater. So underwater, we need sweet white caps. I didn't find any of those, but I did find some mushrooms. Sweet white caps, kobolds and hobgoblins drop those all the time. Same thing with these. These also, small wooden idols are kobolds and hobgoblins. So any of like the low-level harbor quests, you can find this stuff really easily. And then all you have to do is loot the end chest to get these Caneth essences. You only need 10 of them. And then you can craft these shards, and then you can look at the shard itself to see it's a prefix that will go on to, you don't want to do a trinket because the trinket is the, it's the mist event is a trinket, but you could make a ring, you could make goggles, or you could make a headpiece for yourself. That would be underwater action. And then you can do the same thing, like you could just keep it in your bag and equip it whenever you're swimming or something like that. And then death block. Death block, again, is 10 essences, 100% chance. I have, in case you're wondering, this character is brand new, 0 crafting, but you get a 100% chance to make this. These items are a little bit harder to find, these amber vials. Every hardcore season I say, hey, I'm finally going to make my lady character named Amber Vial, but then I always forget. But so the whole idea behind Amber Vials is she drops in areas where there's like a lot of hobgoblins. I think it's mostly drops those. So if you go out and you unlock your elemental resist for your house P buffs by doing, what is that? God, I'm blanking out on the name of that quest series that you do out in House P. You guys know what I'm talking about. You go out there and you fight all the hobgoblins in the little city. You'll end up picking up a bunch of amber vials. And then the other thing is the pure water. They also drop in like the same locations, like desks out there. And yeah, Splinter Skull. Yep. So Splinter Skull, if you do like the harbor, not the harbor, pardon me, the marketplace, Marguerite quest, that whole, underground crypt thing drops a lot of this stuff. That's level 3. If you go out to the Sinister Secret of the Salt Marsh and you kill the Swahagans and stuff, they all drop, especially the pure water vials, and they'll drop that stuff. The mushrooms drop everywhere. The pages drop from everything. Like, so you can really easily farm, like target farm the harbor and the market for the mats to get this stuff. I just think it's easier, not for Deathblock. This is actually really easy for Deathblock because Deathblock is a little bit difficult to get. If you didn't feel like going out to Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh and farming for that level 3 helmet that gives you the 3 casts of Death Ward, you just want to make yourself a Deathblock item. But here's the other reality of this, and we'll do something else. I'll show you guys yet another thing that I would consider on a brand new hardcore server. So we have options for doing different things. If we imagine that this is a hardcore server, and we'll check it out. Like, this is a test server, so I'm not sure how accurate this particular one might be, but if this was a live server or an event server, this absolutely would be a good thing to do. So the other thing you can do is once you get a little bit of money, so I have 400 plat, I go to the auction house, right? And I do a search for an item, like a piece of armor that has death block on it. And sometimes you can find these low level items that have buffs on it that are really super useful. So these are the brokers where people buy, sell stuff. So sometimes checking these, you might find like a low level death block item. Maybe not 100% of the time, but like I said, this is a test server. So nobody is like utilizing these brokers. Everybody's off doing tests. The other place that you can find useful items are on these jewelry brokers. So I always like to check these. Not that you're going to find like a necklace of death block, but you certainly can find some useful things on here. A lot of people, what they'll do once they get their economy up and running is they'll just come through and buy out all these and then relist them on the auction house for like double the price to try to double their plat, because people will buy this stuff. I mean, I don't know if you'd sell a +3 hiding ring, but a +1 ogre power ring, sure, like low level, why not? If you're fighting shadows, having all the strength you can get is good. Having spot is always good. That necklace of natural armor is good. And then this here, sometimes you can find useful things like there's striding boots, which, you know, I have a set, but if you didn't have them, you can find the piece right there. They're expensive as hell, though, I think, right? But I think it's just better to go out to the Borderlands, to be honest. You know, because if we look at the gloves that I looted, level 1, open lock, disable, versus these just to have open lock, and I got mine for free. But I mean, this is another option. That light fort belt is super. I would buy that if I had the money, because having any fortification at low level on hardcore is super good. So, but usually when you come through here, these vendors are empty because people come here and they look at them. As soon as anybody gets any money, and you keep in mind too, right? Like if you gold roll, and we'll do this. This is yet another option, right? So if we're on hardcore, now just in case you're wondering, I don't want you to think that I'm crazy or care less about this sort of thing. These shards came from the DDO points that came from the test dojo. When you go into the test dojo, there's an NPC there who will give you a massive amount of these points. What I did was I talked to that NPC. I got a whole bunch of points. I went to the store. I bought a whole bunch of shards, and then I bought a ship for the guild. I'm not on Mary. Mary has the guild with the guild ship, because the guild ship costs like 4,000 astral shards or something like that. So this is just extra left over from that. But the point I want to show you is that if you were on hardcore and you were positioned where you had astral shards, right? You had purchased astral shards with real money. This is the pay to win aspect of DDO. You can just, you know, okay, I'm brand new on the server, so this is what I'm going to do for the first hour, right? Like if you inherited $800 million and you spent $4,000 on astral shards for DDO, you literally could just sit here. People do this. It's exactly what I'm doing right now. I personally don't do it. I'm only doing it now because these points are going to be deleted and I didn't pay for them anyway. But the thing I wanted to show you, I hope I get one, is that I haven't got one yet. But if you don't roll well, if you get a low roll, it's going to give you a massive hit of plat. There it is right there. 10,000 plat for just rolling a die, right? So everyone gets like a free weekly die. If you get lucky and you roll a 1, people might say, oh, that sucks. On hardcore, that doesn't suck because you just got 10,000 plat. right? Well, obviously you can use all the extra stuff. We just got some collectibles, but yeah, am I recommending you do like a massive pay to win? No, but you certainly, it's another thing that you can do if in reality you're way better at making money than, you know, than spending time in a video game that you just want to log into, and you know, you want to start off on hardcore with a few thousand plat. You know, you do a few gold rolls. Hopefully it works out and you get some shitty rolls and you get a bunch of plat. They give everyone like a free silver roll every day. You can get a little plat from that, and that, you know, you get a free weekly gold roll. So, you know, as the event progresses, you can get a bunch, and then sometimes you can win like some really cool cosmetics, and other times you can win. Like I got a +2 racial tome one season by, it was on a silver roll. I think I rolled 100 on a silver roll. I'm not a big pay to win guy though. I think that like it ruins the fun for me, so I don't do a lot of that. But since we were making a video about like what to do, what you can do at the start of hardcore, for this book here that I just looted, that upgrade tome, what I would do on hardcore is crunch that into dragon shards. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show right now exactly what I'm talking about so you guys understand that, because if you decide to craft for yourself, this is a really important point that I'm not sure if anybody talks about it or goes over it. It's just sort of, you end up figuring it out if you do any Cannith crafting. But in order to make some of the like higher end Cannith crafted gear, you have to have these specific like dragon shards, and you can only get them by crunching certain things. Ability tome. So on hardcore, you probably would use an ability tome as opposed to crunching it. But for something weird like a +4 upgrade to a skill, if you don't already have the +3, you're probably not going to use it. It makes sense to crunch it, and we'll see if we can actually like see what the value, how many of these things I get. Yeah. I think I'm remembering correctly where to go. Normally I do this on my guild ship, so I'm trying to remember how to do that if I'm not on a guild ship. I think it's this NPC in here, right here. I think it's this person. Yes, it is this person. So I drag this here, and I will get 25 purified Eberron dragon shard fragments for this particular. This is a +5 upgrade on a hide +4. I don't have hide +4. I don't have anywhere near hide +4, so I can't even use this. If I sold it to somebody, they would have to have +4 in order to benefit from the +5. It doesn't just add, right? It doesn't add it. So this is much better used for me by making it into these 25 shards. So it destroys the tome and then gives me the 25 shards. 25 shards, the reason that you want these is because if you go to make like a high-end item, these are bound to your account. So it's like not like you can go to the auction house and buy these. If you go to craft something and you don't have them, you're going to have to crunch something to get them. People can't trade them to you. You can't buy them. So like it's worth having like a stash of these. So if we were to go to live, like I have a lot of these because I crunch everything that I don't need. But on hardcore, it's hard to sort of get this up and running. So usually I'm on the lookout for, you know, like tomes that I'm not going to use. So I crunch them. If it was an ability tome, though, because it's hardcore and I don't have anything, like if I found like a +1 charisma tome, I probably wouldn't crunch it. I'd probably use it to get the bonus. But for something goofy like hide, I don't really care. If it was just a +1 or a +2 or a +3 hide, I might consider using it. Although hide for my character, probably not. But it's just that particular skill tome was, you know, pretty much useless for me. So way more useful as these But in order to utilize these, you have to have a good degree of like Kenneth crafting already under your belt. We don't need to worry about that now though, because we are doing, you know, like low early game stuff. This is stuff I found doing like the new quests the other day. So and I did run around on the Isle of Dread with my max level character for a little bit, which is why I have gear in that bank. Normally though, like they wiped this server. For some reason they didn't this time, so the other thing that you can do, since we're here, and I don't know if this is useful information for people, hopefully it is, but if you're brand new on a server and you're looking for some really good gear, this stuff is really good, and it's reasonably easy to get at low level. This is all level 3. Oh, actually, it looks like the weapons are level 4. I'm pretty sure the items are level 3. I might be wrong, though. It's been a while. Yeah, so it's level 3 for the items. The item that I think is super worth farming for is this, the Bracers of Wind, because they give you a blur. So you can just have blur on your bracers. All you need is 400 arrowheads and 400 of these crude talismans. That might sound like a lot, but these quests are pretty simple and straightforward. A lot of times when people are farming favor on the hardcore league, they will be out here doing these quests anyway. So you usually can get in to them with the people who are doing them, farm through them, and then put those mats in your bank. And then if you make another low level character, you'll have like a store of those. You could always pick up those bracers. It is a much, like, not as quick, but it is something that you can do long term. The other thing too to keep in mind is those items were made a long time ago, and while Bracers of Wind are really good for the blur, there's a lot of items in like Saltmarsh and Feywild that are equal to, if not better, and easier to get. So that's the other route that you could go, is target farming stuff in like Saltmarsh and Feywild. Usually I don't target farm on hardcore until I hit the level to go out to the Feywild. I will try to get the helmet in the Saltmarsh, but generally I just start doing it in Feywild, and that's only because most of the gear from Feywild I will wear all the way up into, late epics. The other thing that is important to sort of keep in mind is that if you have this boarding pass or any of these quick travels, it makes doing this quest way easier. Because once you finish this quest, you can just punch this that's uninterruptible, and you can, complete this quest, right? So we don't need to do favor, but let's say you did need to do this quest. I'm level 2, right? Doing this on elite is level 4. That's pretty wildly, like, I'm way under leveled to do this. I mean, it's normal, right? It's normal level to do this, but most people on hardcore would wait to do this. Most people wouldn't run in at level 2 and do this. I'm going to park Byron here as an oh shit button. Right? I mean, if we die, we die. Big deal. We'll see what happens to the lantern then, right? As a test. But I'm going to leave Byron there. So if I get swarmed by stuff, I'm going to summon him to me, and hopefully he will, take one for the team. These first few prophets, you're not supposed to kill any prophets, but usually I just murder everything at the beginning here. I don't know how interesting this is, whether people care about this quest, but I might as well just demonstrate what I do when I run this quest, because I do run it for people sometimes. There's the curse. I usually go and pick up a curse potion because of this. You can also go get invisibility scrolls once the guild gets to the level where we unlock the scrolls in House K. So this is really interesting. I'm kind of glad we're catching this. I have not seen any lag on the 64-bit server except for right there. That's like the first lag that I have seen. So that is really, really good to see because it's sort of really similar to the live server. So I'm not sure if the 64-bit server is solving the lag problem that we were worried about, right? I mean, in some regards it is. Oh my god, dude. Did you see that? He hit me. It's a normal kobold. Hit me with a lightning bolt. They are no joke at low level. That's why we see Kobold Shaman has killed so-and-so. All right, so what we're going to see now is what happened to all of the things. Yeah, they all got deleted out of my backpack. It's amazing. They just get flat out deleted. And here's the thing. You cannot, like, those are the normal ones. Let's see. Yeah, I cannot pick up any lanterns because I have to be level 1. Amazing. That's super cool. So that would be it for this dude's hardcore. So I guess the good news is that you can continue at least playing that character out in public, right? It's just the trek for the rewards is immediately stopped. So what I would have to do then, if I wanted to continue to participate, is just pick up all the story mode stuff, right? And we'll see that. We'll make sure that we can do that. You know, the one thing I did not try, and I kind of regret it now, is picking up all 10 of the lanterns to see what would happen. You know, can you accidentally like slot a story mode one with a hard instead of a hard mode? Can you carry all of them? Because there's all the story mode ones. Yeah, and obviously what they said is exactly true. That all the work that you do, all the durability that we added to that hard mode one is gone. It's just flat out like instantly deleted as soon as you die. So it's really cool. No joke, right? Those little kobold shaman, that dude lit me up. Me and my joke 0 lightning resist. I got one-shotted by that thing. I was I was kind of already at from 50. I think I was at like 24 or something like that. It's insane, dude. Super, super scary. But we were level 2 in that quest on Elite. So that also brings up another point. I guess it's worth talking about. Our prior thought process for doing hardcore, because we're chasing favor, is to do all the quests on Elite or even on Reaper, right? Now, these Mistwalkers, you just have to stay alive. So it doesn't require you. It doesn't seem that they pop up more or less. Like I did Reaper quests and I saw none of these Mistwalkers. I was in a Slayer zone and I saw 2, right? So it doesn't seem to matter filling up this lantern what difficulty my quest is on. It just matters that I not die. So it may be that the best way to farm the hardcore lanterns is to just normal quest the entire way through the game. right? Or Slayer zone all the way through where you can, basically to make sure that all the stuff around you where these miststalkers spawn is not that difficult. So if they do spawn and you're surrounded by stuff, you're not gonna get, you know, obliterated. Like, there's no reason for me to do, right? I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding something, there's no reason for me to go into that quest on Elite that we just got one shot lightning bolted, when the biggest thing I'm worried about is keeping my lantern from breaking from me dying, right? So you're posting Visigoth, you're posting Goggles from Borderlands, Spider. You just said from the forums, the amount of lantern progress rewarded for killing Miststalker is relative to the quest difficulty and the type of stalker that is spawned. Okay, so, okay, but here's the thing, right? So it could be, that's a great point. Thank you, Spider, for pointing that out. I got 3 or 4 points, right, out in the Slayer zone of the Borderlands. I think it was 3 points for one, 4 points for another. I got 6 points and 7 points in Reaper on my main, doing it at Legendary. So does that mean that doing Reaper like R1 or Elite would give, like, it's, if those numbers are correct, Elite should give you like 5 to 6 points. Reaper gives you 6 to 7 points. Normal gives you 3 to 4 points. Hard then would give you 4 to 5 points, right? Elite 5 to 6. Reaper 6 to 7, something like that. Obviously, these are ballpark guesses, but if that is true, then by doing it on Elite, you could cut your time down, right? By whatever the percentage is, 20%, 30%, whatever the percentage comes out to, which is great. Like, that's good to know. That is really good to know. However, for looking at like potential quests, like, because some quests are super easy, you can easily do them on Elite. And the quest that I just did there, that one usually is pretty challenging. A lot of people skip that quest. So to be able to like decide, hey, I'm going to do a bunch of this stuff on hard, I'm going to do a bunch of this stuff. Because if you're, the difference is between hard and Elite is big in a quest. But if it's only 1 point on a lantern, well, then it makes more sense to do that quest on hard. If it's like, what's that quest in Sharn where we have to go up the ramps and there's all the, at the end, there's all the forge wraiths that spawn and the guy's under the shield and he's like, get to the roof, and then everybody dies trying to go up that ramp because it lags out, and you get all the people throwing those thermal detonators at you. If you can do that quest on normal, right, and not die to that bullshit, especially if you get any lag, I forget what that quest is called, but you know, there are just some quests that absolutely suck. Like if you decided you wanted to do Temple of Elemental, yeah, best laid plans, that's right. If you wanted to do Temple and, you know, you're doing part 2, you do it on normal. I wouldn't recommend you do that quest at all if you don't want to die, but if you know it, right, some people really know that quest really well, just do it. You could do it on normal, so that's good. So you can target farm the specific quests. No reason to farm for renown or whatever we're calling it, favor. No need to favor farm at all. There's no need to even think about favor. It's just a completely different mindset. Like, this is a really interesting event because it's going to be like completely new. You know, we're not going to be favor farm. I'm sure people will. I'm sure we're going to have people who not only fill all of their lanterns, but also got 7,000 favor at the same time. Like the other, because the question is, what are they going to do with the boards? Are we still going to have the hardcore reward? You guys know what I'm asking you, right? Like, are we going to have the the boards where everybody competes? Or is that not part of this event? Because how would they do it? I don't think they can do it. I don't think they will. I don't think it'll be part of this event at all. I think that, you know, just to take a ride over there to take a look, like how would you even, unless they're coming up with some new system that would be categorized and sort of tracked somewhere else, I don't think it's going to be part of this event. Like, these here are just relics of a bygone era at this point, right? Because they're not going to add to them. Right? Like Soul Fairy got that much Reaper XP. Are they going to be tracking that for this event? I don't think so. Why would they? There's no reason to. Who cares? Halloween got 74. I mean, aside from just taking a moment to bow at how crazy Halloween did. So awesome, 74. It's insane. But why would we need to track that now? We don't. We don't need to track that. None of these. This is all just antiquated now. I mean, awesome, but I don't think we're going to see a missed record. At least, unless I'm misunderstanding something. It's easy to confuse me, right? Like, I'm not always down with what they decide to do. Sometimes I'm baffled by what they do, but I just can't see any reason to, like, track if somebody is... I can't even see death messages, to be honest with you. Like, why would we have death messages? Right? Like, I just died, but I just had my lanterns deleted. Will they have a message, so-and-so's lanterns was just deleted? Probably not. Why would they? That doesn't make any sense. That's not an interesting thing to watch. Like, watching names flash across the screen because they died to falling at level 2 is interesting. So-and-so died to Hera at level 3. You know, why are they in there fighting Hera at level 3? It's way too low. But for this, I can't see it. I think it's just going to be a very sort of like, you know, like a focused event. Like, people will come in, they'll target farm for whatever cosmetics they want, and then they'll just leave. Now, here's the thing. Is this the shield? Is that the shield? Is that the cloak? And here, this is what I was asking you guys earlier. Is that the Mistwalker cloak? And then this is the ad for the hardcore. So in other words, if I do this non-hardcore, this vanishes, but the cloak is identical other than that little thing. Let's go check. Yeah, okay, so that is exactly, it looks like that's exactly what's going on, right? How do I hide my UI? Oh, never mind. I don't want to crash my computer. So it looks like this is the story mode version, right? And then right here is where the skull appears. If you do the hard mode version, is the hard mode version worth almost 50% more time and a requirement to go in and do, like, if you want to cut your time down, elite or better, elite, reaper? I mean, we already went over, like, there are going to be some people who get 7,500 favor, they do everything on R4, they get, you know, they just blow away, because there are some really, really good people at the game. But if you suck at the game like I do, is it worth it just to get that tiny little skull? I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on that. Maybe, but bro, that's a really small skull for a lot of extra work. I guess it's going to be an individual thing, right? It's going to be, everybody's going to decide that, but I'm not really a cloak guy anyway. So for me, that there's zero appeal. I barely can muster the effort. Like, I love hardcore. I love the people. I love doing the guild. I love questing. I love doing Reaper on hardcore. But it sounds like this event's just going to be a little bit different. So do I want to spend all that time target farming each of these just to get a reward? And then, you know, do I want to say, okay, well, for this particular, like for the shield, I want the shield that has the tiny little skull here. I don't even see the skull on this one, so it looks like he has the story mode shield. But, you know, am I understanding this correctly? It looks like it, just based on what I'm seeing here. It could also be that this color scheme is a little bit different on the story mode as opposed to the, because what is that? It's like a purplish, and on here it's, no, actually, you know what? That color looks the same. So it looks like the only difference is that little skull there. On the cloak, I don't know about the shield because we don't have two shields to compare this to. And there's no skull here. I would expect it to be there, but it's not there. And we have no, like, I can't see the mounts. I can't see the pets. I don't know. But is the lantern that pet? Does it look like that? I think it might. I think that's probably what it's going to look like. I think that this is probably what it's going to look like right there. That thing floating over her shoulder. So I got to be honest, like if that's what it looks like, that's really cool. I would probably farm for that. But do I need to have it so that when somebody zooms in, they can see the tiny little skull right there to show that I did it on hardcore? I don't think so. I don't think I'd give a shit. I think I would just want to get one of them and equip it and call it a day. Let's see if we can see a skull on this one. You see, I don't see anything on this. Maybe that, right? I'll go over to the other one and check it. Maybe that. I don't see anything down there. So let's see. Does that other one have that like weird skull? No. All right. So that's what you're earning, I think. You see how this one just has like the rim, and then this one has that like little skull face on it right there. But bro, that's a lot of extra work just to get a tiny little skull on an item that's floating next to you that when you zoom out, you can't even see it. Like, think if we didn't just do that for delete the last 5 minutes from your brain, and we have, you know, blindfold, take the blindfold off. Does this look different than that? From this distance, I can't tell. It looks the same to me. They look the same. What's the difference? The only way you can tell is if you hyper zoom in on it and get right up to it to see that little thing. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. See, I'm completely wrong. That it must have been like a graphic thing when I zoomed out. She's got it now too. So I'm not sure. What's going to happen is like as soon as this is the test server, as they firm up the event, they give us the dates when it's going to launch. I hope they launch pictures so we can see this gear. I want to know exactly what it is that I'm spending the time for. Is it worth it? Like what's going on? Because I think it's the, you know, it's going to be like, it's going to make or break. Am I going to spend the extra time running elites and Reaper quests to do the hardcore? Or am I just going to basically like, you know, be a casual Andy for this particular event and focus on my guild and just do all the story mode stuff? Like, I definitely want to get the mount. I don't know that I want to get both. I want to get one. And then I'll probably try to get this pet because it's a really cool looking lantern. But am I going to... If it is what I'm saying and from far away they look the same, I'll probably not care about getting the elite, you know, the hard mode version of it, the hardcore version. I'll probably just get, you know, whatever and go from there. Really interesting to see though what the future has in store for how these look. I gotta be honest too, like I'm not a real shield guy. And the shields that I use are usually like little bucklers. Like I like the ship wheel one from the Three Barrel Cove. I like the Fey, the little crystal Fey one that comes from the Feywild. I know people like shields, and that there are some really cool ones, like the Salt Marsh has that really cool skull shield, but it's just not my thing. I don't really care about it, so I probably wouldn't grind even for like a story mode shield. I just wouldn't use it. I'm not a cloak guy. I'm not a shield guy. I like the pets. I like the actual cosmetics. Like if they let us grind for this armor, that's pretty cool looking armor. I mean, it's not the best armor I've ever seen, but that's pretty cool with that little demon head belt. I mean, this dude looks pretty cool. I like that circlet that he's wearing. Like, I don't know, maybe we already have access to this gear, but this looks pretty good. So, I mean, if this is a reward I could chase, I probably would. And this robe that this caster is wearing, that looks awesome. See, I would really love it if they gave us dye. See, that's my big, I really want them to add dye to DDO. This color palette is fine, but I would love to dye that like black. Like if I could dye it the color that that dude is in right there, that sort of matted black, that would be great. If we could turn that from brown and gold to like silver and blue or something like that, that would be a really cool use of the dye. Same thing with this armor I'm wearing. Like it's really cool silver, but I would love to be able to dye it matte black. I think it would look great. So I keep hoping that they add, they add dyes to this game. But another thing that they could do is add dyes for these mounts. So like this mount has this silver. If you could dye it, I think they do the same thing with guild ships, right? You can change the color of the stuff on the guild ship, the rings and the paint. If I could change my dragon from this silver to like a matted gray or like a dark black or something, I think it would be really cool. So I keep hoping that they add stuff like that. A lot of questions to be answered for this event, but I think that we are going to have some fun, right? It's going to be something cool to do. I haven't really noticed playing around with the 80 ping on the server that's in Las Vegas, a huge difference between playing on the server that's near Boston. I showed you guys the bank still sucks. We did see some lag when I was in a quest, so it's not like these 64-bit servers are 100%, but I think overall it runs really smooth. Where's my... I mean, there's my, my frame rate counter. Like, and I already talked about like how I don't have, I certainly don't have like a 4090, the best card that you can get. And I'm still staying way over like 30 frames per second. There it just dropped down to 60, but so, I mean, I think the server is all in all handling like whatever they're doing to mesh it to 64-bit and caching it. It seems to be working. It would be nice if they could figure out how to move all of the, the stable and the pets and the monster manual and the astral shards and the guild, and how to deal with like unique names, because like I'm a great example of that. Like I own Mary on most of the servers, but I do not own it on all of the servers. You guys who played with me during hardcore know like one of the main issues for hardcore is when the server opens, there's just random people on there snagging up all the different names that they can. And I, for like 5 seasons, wasn't able to get my name. Luckily, the last few seasons, I've been really lucky to get it. And people there, one season, somebody got it for me immediately. And then like when I logged in on my other character, they knew it was me. They messaged me and said, "Hey, I got your name. I'll transfer it to you whenever you're ready." Like, but it's just that's such a pain to do. Like, so I really hope that they can figure out what to do. I think something like World of Warcraft Blizzard does, where they give your account, like your account name, and then they just string everything after that account name. So even though you let's say you named your character like Harry, right? Harry is not the whole name, it's just the displayed name. Your actual account name is just not shown, right? So they could, if they're doing like a buffer server mesh, I think why couldn't they add a tech like that that makes it so that our accounts are what actually identifies us, and then the characters are just basically, you know, added to that particular account that's logged in, but Misty Buddy is not really you know, like as unique as it is right now, because right now nobody else can make that character name on the server, and that might have seemed cool 18 years ago, but 2024, it's, you know, Diablo 4 is a great example. Like I have my main account name, which I think I made, I think that account I made way back, and I haven't changed it to my new YouTube tag, so I think it's still my really old Dark Lord from back when I was in Star Wars The Old Republic. But I can make like 16 Marys on that account because it doesn't matter. The avatar that I'm in the game with is just a representation of my Blizzard account on that particular tune, but it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really tie it to anything but the particular, you know, login for that day. So I think it would work over here in DDO, especially because I think upgrading the servers would be a really good idea for them. And I would be a person who, because I like to do the hardcore events, would participate and probably would spend way more time on the event server than on my main server now, which means that I probably eventually would want to move, not all my tunes, obviously, but some of them off of Sarlona. So, well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I can't think of anything else to test. I mean, other than just randomly running around and questing. We went over everything. I'm going to sort of gather up all this information and post the summary on my YouTube channel.
Where are you going? Hunting for gold that is flowing somewhere in the cold world. Here there is no knowing. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games.
Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing.
Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games.
We love games.
There's a standing stone. Let's make camp.
We love games.
Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. We love games.
Where are games?
Oh la la
La la la la. We love games.
There's a standing stone.
Let's make camp.
We love games.
Let's make camp and play more games.
Hey, more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. We love games.
Hunting old crypts is folly.
just play games and be jolly.
Magical treasures hide in the dark. So rest, then embark. We love games. There's a
Standing stone, let's make camp.
We love games.
Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la, we love games. Hey la, merry la, oh la la la, la 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 la.